In Genesis, it is revealed that in the image of God he created them. Man's self-knowledge and human conscience are worked out in the first chapters of Genesis. In Matthew 19 it is said, "Have you not read that he who made them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one." Pope Benedict XVI in 2004 said, "Sexuality which is no longer linked to procreation will have far-reaching consequences. People will end up demanding the right to be escaping from the slavery of nature and demanding the right to be male or female at one's will or pleasure. Changing the anatomical and biological complementarity of a male and female is equivalent to having an argument with God and a medical textbook of anatomy. It cannot be done without profound trauma. Sadly, children are left as the science experiment, as irreversible decisions are made before they could drink or drive. Have you listened to Chloe Cole's recent testimony before Congress? The side effects of gender transitioning that are permanent give me reason to stand here and ask you to stop the cycle of promoting the flag ideology, which is using broken children for profit in the million-dollar industry of puberty blockers, sterilizations, chemical and physical castrations. Gender dysphoria will not be solved with endless cheap stickers and flags. The child announces a new identity to get attention and fit in with the cool and popular, and they are left manipulated by a system that takes advantage of the planted confusion to make a profit. Pope Benedict was prophetic because it is a slavery to destroying maleness and femaleness in the destruction of natural identity. The theology of the body, human love, in the divine plan written by St. John Paul II is an incredible analysis of humanity that should be part of the education program. A magnificent vision of the human person understood with the mystery of Christ is presented in this text using biblical revelation. Promoting and perpetuating a lie with flag flying continues a cultish phenomenon pressured and promoted by people who think they know best. I know in my heart that our previous Pope, now Saint, was brilliant in this incredible book I have read cover to cover. Contrast this with the recent dehumanizing and demoralizing survey sent out by the Ontario College of Teachers in their recent forum research. It was highly political in nature, ensuring that only those participants that support diversity, equity, and inclusion continue with the survey in the first place. Laced with political suggestions, the understanding is that those who do not believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion ideology should find another career pathway. My sense of belonging and feelings of safety, respect, inclusion, and acceptance were very much reduced as a Catholic. The division and barriers between the sexes and races were defined and used to classify the membership in the most uncharitable way. I could only think of the line I heard in a recent Daily Wire: "We all bleed, and come to think of it, breed the same." I found the survey unhelpful in a profession that should be about building hope in the professionals of the future. Nuns, sisters, priests, and Catholic married lay people, formerly the foundational builders of our educational and medical institutions, are not the ones that the teaching profession is looking to employ. The data is being collected to secretly bar traditional family ideologies from the profession. I felt like I would have to uphold the modern day political categories and remain silenced to remain in the profession with a clear conscience. There was no opportunity to check just male or female. In previous years, this was easy, but instead the survey explored the deepest lusts of its members. Sexual attractions and romantic inclinations were foregone conclusions. What was formerly and confidently male and female had become a shattered version of identity. I felt the survey had the opposite effect on those who had a traditional understanding of male and female. The data collected by the OCT will be entered into a machine up above so that only those that believe in the new political categories and ideologies are accepted into the career. The movie Disconnected, the real story behind the transgender explosion, mentioned that suicide rates go up after transitioning. The transgendered groups use emotional blackmail to coerce parents into unnecessary medical treatments. Sentences like, "Would you rather have a live transgendered son or a dead daughter?" are used as suicide threats during private medical consultations. Parents are coerced to comply for the so-called health and safety of their children. Currently, the psychology profession affirms the disconnected and splitting of self into two separate entities of mind and body. Bathroom and change room confusion is an uncomfortable and troubling danger zone with heightened emotions and vulnerabilities. Suicide rates decrease when people have a healthy understanding of mind and body united, creating a much healthier understanding of self for members of our community, and a much safer one as well. We manage our passions with self-discipline, a calm sense of purpose, connectedness, and identity in family life routines. The profit motive to medicalize healthy people for life is a scary solution for our tax-paid healthcare system. I drive around our community with signs that say, "Save our hospitals." The promotion of the rainbow flag identity will only increase spiraling healthcare costs, creating secret safe spaces in educational and hospital institutions far from traditional families and churches, for they are already empty of the youth. The ethical rules of biblical complementarity and future fertility are thrown out as the skyrocketing demand for sex change surgeries hits a fever pitch. In George Orwell's book 1984, the political pressure to comply illustrates the strong effect the thought police have on controlling the people. When a girl is given testosterone and mastectomies to transform her into a boy, she is gender affirmed. But when she finally realizes her confusion and decides to stay a girl, the system no longer pays attention. There is no money to be made in healthy children. This is a dystopian reality created by a system gone mad. Only a faith in God will undo the damage this has done when the redemptive power of God's love surrounds that individual with true self-awareness, healing, and the strength to forgive those that misled. Currently, conversion therapy is banned in Canada. The leaders check our pronouns and ensure we fall into line with the acceptable thoughts of the day. Go along with the lie or risk being persecuted. Pope John Paul II said, "The culture of life is built on the civilization of love." Love is best understood with responsibility. Many parents are secretly guarding their children from a political ideology that has gone wild. If a parent can see through the chaos, this has risen to the level of immoral at our local schools with flag flying, which directly contradicts the moral order revealed by God, July 18, 1984, in John Paul II's Wednesday audience. In Genesis 4, knowledge gained in self-giving through motherhood and fatherhood cannot be reworked, not by a drug injection, nor cognitive therapy, or personal pronoun awkwardness, or even worse, a scalpel. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and he who loves is born of God and knows God. He who does not love does not know God, for God is love. No man has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. The cross is already a symbol of inclusion, as difficult as it is. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
We'll have to leave the steps now because we need some relief.
The pigs are still